Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Shado, the internet personality who keeps fucking up his schedule for some strange, mysterious reason. Ah, well, it's time for the 420 special. That magical time of year when people take note of the 4th month, April, and the 20th day, the 20th, and celebrate the great American pastime of smoking weed. Instead of the usual routine of just smoking every single day at 4:20, AM and PM. Either way, my tradition, which I have laxed on as of late, is to review some weed-themed movies. The classic 420 special on this channel is of the Evil Bong series, and with that in mind, the next one on the list is none other than Evil Bong 420. Which follows Gingerdead Man vs. Evil Bong, making Evil Bong 420 the 5th movie in the Evil Bong franchise, but I guess that all depends on what you define as a movie. Evil Bong 420 doesn't exactly have much of a running time, or sets, or a plot, come to think of it. But it does have an evil hookah masquerading as a bong, so I guess that's what counts here. In any case, I have a responsibility to uphold, so let's take a look at Evil Bong 420, and be sure to keep plenty of snacks on hand. We open to the classic tune of Wicked Weed, amidst some beautiful visual effects. In theory, anyway.
Wicked weed, heaven from the devil's seed, fiending for it every day, you know I want that Mary Jane.
Yeah, that massive movement really doesn't work well with YouTube compression. Also, the fact that this DVD isn't even 480p, it's only 404p, that probably doesn't help either. Either way, we find ourselves in Bong World, along with 2 Poontang tribeswomen, and of course the Gingerdead Man, voiced by Robert Ramos. He's still trapped in Bong World, but all things considered, isn't all that upset about it.
Every fucked up thing I can think of happens instantly. Boobs, murder, boobs, weed, boobs.
Giving a far better summary of this movie than I ever could. However, missing from Bong World is Rabbit, still played by Sonny Carl Davis. That's because he's out and opening a topless bowling alley. Not for him to go around topless, oh no, but his 2 employees, both very much still with tops on. Phoebe, played by Mindy Robinson, and Darla, played by Sam Atoki. He calls the 2 of them over to give a grand speech about their grand opening and how this night will truly be a night to remember.
One that will set the tone of this establishment for years to come.
That's it?
Yes, when you can't be arsed to write decent jokes anymore, just say that the lack of a punchline is the punchline. Hell's what I've been doing for the last 3 years. So while Rabbit's enduring the difficulties of having to actually be a leader for his employees, the Gingerdead Man?
What more could a guy ask for? A little spontaneity, maybe.
What the fuck did you just say, day old Gingerdead?
Huh?
He's learning that paradise isn't paradise if you have too much of it. Too much weed, too much sex, too much murder! Of which we have seen none, but trust me, it's oversaturated to the point where the body count is just boring at this point. The slip of his gingerbread tongue is enough to catch the attention of the water pipe of wretchedness, the paraphernalia of pain, the evil bong herself, Evie. Still voiced by Michelle Mays. Seems Gingerdead Man is wondering just where Rabbit is. Hasn't seen him in a while. So she says she'll go look for him and that's it, we're back to the bowling alley. Rabbit's joke oh-so-short speech has actually been going on for quite a while, and he's in the process of teaching the girls how to upsell their customers and try to get them to buy more than they actually initially came in for.
If someone wanted small shoes, make them get large ones instead?
No, absolutely not. I don't have the insurance coverage if somebody slips and falls and puts them in traction.
Now, work for Nintendo, went in for the online service, somehow came out with a family plan.
It means like if a kid wants a soda, you sell him a beer. Or a Harvey Wallbanger. You upsell the bastard.
Exactamundo. Exactamundo.
Ah, so if someone comes in looking for a Nintendo Online, give them a VIP subscription to Pornhub instead. Got it. Before they can open, though, a pair of filmmakers just walk in. Not sure how, but this is David Dakota, the director. Not of this movie, but of like 150 other ones, and David Del Val. The 2 of them appear to show an interest in shooting a film in this very bowling alley of rabbits.
$25,000.
Go, please.
I've got $50.
I'll take it.
Which, in all likelihood, is a reenactment of how this bowling alley came to be the set of this very movie. Anyway, back on the topic of what they were just talking about, like that scene never actually happened, it seems Rabbit has 2 bowling experiences for sale. However, when someone just wants their basic shoes and ball, what do?
I'm gonna upsell him. The gutter ball is the biggest bonanza of the bowling experience.
You never actually said what it is.
Aha!
More importantly, you named it the gutter ball. when you're going to bowl, the thing that you don't want to get is a gutter ball. It's like if you go to a strip club and they have a secret service in the side, in the back, in a dark room, that you can have it for just a low, low price. We call it hepatitis. Predictably, the special order is in fact a bag of weed. The snack sales will be the real moneymaker.
Okay, is this even legal?
Huh?
Because this doesn't feel legal.
While considering in between this movie being made and me reviewing it, weed has become much more legal in several states, I wouldn't worry too much unless your selection of snack foods includes Kinder Eggs. With all that taken care of, now it's time for the main attraction. Topless Bowling's signature Topless Girls. Or girl, at least.
I really want to be an actress, and although taking your top off can get you ahead, it also devalues me.
Kinda rich coming from Mindy Robinson, possibly most well known for taking her top off. I guess Charles Band just couldn't afford those high-class hooters. Somehow refusing to comply with the topless dress code of this topless bowling alley doesn't get Phoebe fired on the spot. In case you're worried about the lack of boobage, in walks Rory Moon playing the role of Candy, who is looking for a job.
I'm so sorry, miss. I don't have any openings right now.
Rabbit, we're 10 minutes in and we've seen how many tits already? It's really not a jaw-dropping experience when the whole world is practically a nudist colony. Seeing her bountiful bazongas, he hires her on the spot and she runs off until the story says she's relevant again. Someone else also comes in who is somehow important.
Here's Hambo! Nothing?
Sorry, no.
Chance A. Reardon playing the role of Hambo, who first appeared in Zombies vs. Strippers in 2012, and then just kept appearing in more full moon movies like Ooga Booga and Gingerdead Man vs. Evil Bong. And I still don't know why. Seems he's a former star of a kids show, but said show is no longer airing. However, the recent nostalgia wave means he might be able to make a comeback and get back on television.
Why are you here?
I need capital. I'm thinking if I unload the remainder of my officially licensed Hambo merchandise, to wit...
He's here to shill his merch. There's a time and a place, man. Time and a place. Also, there's the problem that Rabbit can't afford to buy his stock of crap to sell to fans of bowling and boobs. However, they strike a deal. Hambo can stick around and sell the stuff his damn self so long as Rabbit gets a cut. Back in Bong World, though, the Gingerdead Man is getting antsy.
It isn't real. I need some action. Real action like before.
I heard that.
But just having ideas isn't going to move the plot forward, so everyone just conveniently forgets how to have interior monologues and just says this shit on their mind. Kind of like if, in What Women Want, it's not that he could read minds, it's just all the female characters just spent the whole time yelling at Mel Gibson. Unfortunately, Rabbit is missing, but Evie figures it's best not to tell Gingerdead Man because he's kind of a fucked up serial killer.
As long as I can keep him trapped in my Bong World, I could deal with him.
I heard that.
And by everyone, I meant everyone. So it's kind of like if in What Women Want, everyone could just hear Mel Gibson thinking about... Moving on. It doesn't matter anyway right now. We have to go back to the bowling alley. Yay! The bowling alley, where we can see Hambo mingling with his legions of fans, and Rabbit continuing to sell dope through his topless bowling alley, where customers seem to understand it more along the lines of a nude beach. And even Phoebe is starting to warm up to Rabbit.
You're kind of like a sick perv, but like in that fun uncle kind of way.
Thanks. I think.
I wouldn't let you babysit.
I mean, as much as you can to a less useful version of Master Roshi. Ready for something that actually matters to happen? 'Cause I am. Not that this really counts, but it's at least more interesting. Remember Larnell, played by John Patrick Jordan? Well, he's back. Along with Robin Sidney, who's returning as her character from the Gingerdead Man series, Sarah Leigh, and somehow Luann doesn't make an appearance in this movie. Larnell does ensure her that they're laying low enough to avoid any unwanted encounters.
Nobody is ever gonna recognize us here.
Hi, guys.
But I guess he failed to take into account that this is the one and only location the studio managed to afford while making this movie. The meeting of the important characters does finally spark some questions, about halfway through the running time of this thing, about just what is Rabbit doing there? Wasn't he stuck in Bong World? Did the Evil Bong send him? The answers are, of course, far more mundane. As he points out, he owns this bowling alley and briefly covers the events of the previous movie.
You two were stuck in the Bong World. I was there by choice.
Well, we'd probably still be there if it weren't for you helping us get out.
Which reminds me quite a lot of the last movie. Not in what happens, but in what doesn't, because that one spent so much running time on characters reminiscing about the previous encounters with the Evil Bong and the Gingerdead Man. and showing clips of it. But in this movie,
Thank you so much for that. If it wasn't for you, we would have never fallen in love.
there just aren't any clips. It's just awkward reminiscing, which really makes me question the 53-minute running time, or only 47 if you cut out the credits. As well as the odd choice that with such little running time, more than a small percentage is used on random characters and gags that have fuck all to do with anything, as we see our two rednecks here and hear them bemoan the fact that black people are bowling in this establishment.
Shouldn't they be bowling at the back of the lanes or some shit?
Such a dreadful sight. I feel like I need to apologize. I mean, at one point, I actually enjoyed Evil Bong movies. I guess that wasn't enough to establish they aren't nice people, as the rednecks follow this up by straight up robbing their asses.
Assholes.
Hey, it's Del Howison! How in the fuck did they convince him to cameo in this movie? Oh, uncredited. Makes sense. Anyway, back with Rabbit and friends, the question of just how in the hell Rabbit escaped the inescapable Bong World comes up. This results in a tell-don't-show explanation that while in Bong World, Evie slowly drains your life force, and it got to the point where Rabbit couldn't even get it up anymore!
So I stole a ton of her magic weed and escaped. I sold it. And I bought this place.
So that's how he escaped. Because he escaped. Now that we're done with the backstory, we're back to the boring old present day again. Rabbit selling weed and bowling shoes, like he's been doing. However, there's one other thing he's been working on that might be at least somewhat useful to the plot.
I call it the weed blower.
You smoke from it?
Au contraire. It smokes you.
Like in the fun way or the Evil Bong 2 way? I'm a fucking doobie, remember that, Rabbit? That was you! After a brief reminder that the pig is a pig, we're given a hint as to what the weed blower can do when Sarah gets a tad annoyed at the conversation.
Every single time that we go out, all I ever hear is Johnny.
The power of weed brings clarity and happiness, at the possible cost of motor skills and the tendency to fixate on small details for far too long. While she goes to their lane, Larnell exposits that their relationship is having problems. Seems introducing a new love interest who is a doppelganger of another character's love interest to a character who already had their own love interest in the series isn't quite as cut and dry as it sounds. Larnell still has feelings for Felicity, mostly in the groin though, whereas feelings for Sarah are from the heart. Oh well, time for a few random-ass scenes with next to no need to pad this already criminally short movie. And Ooga Booga's in this movie. Fuck it, just bring in all the full moon horror icons. Demonic toys, the Puppet Master, the fucking Mandroid. Why not? Ah, well, ignore that for now because the movie knows what we really want. More bullshit filler characters! This half reintroduces the Heschers. You know, Orson Chaplin and Caleb Hurst. Orson was a Hesher in the last movie too, but one of the two who String chased down and stabbed to death, and he's the one of these two who looks less like he came back from the dead, so fuck if I know what's going on. The little back and forth is something. I think it's a business transaction. Rabbit tries to upsell them, and they are very interested in the quite impressive glassware he has on display, but when it comes time to pony up the dough?
Shoes only.
You know, come to think of it, when you're that fucked up, is a bowling alley really the place you want to hang out? Back in Bong World, the Gingerdead Man is finally deciding to leave. Turns out escaping really isn't all that hard, just gotta find an adequately sized suitcase. He is apprehensive at first, but then soon realizes if he leaves, it won't take long before he returns to full power.
Then I can ensnare him back into my Bong World and grow and take over the world.
I heard that, dumbass.
So what?
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna use this information to alter your plans in any way, shape, or form. There's only 15 minutes of movie left. We gotta get the show on the road. So they leave for the bowling alley, which means it's time for more bullshit filler characters! The return of Mr. and Mrs. G, still played by Tian Wang, and Jin Hee-jung.
You are the inspiration for my badass doll.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe it would have been more comfortable to just review another I Spit on Your Grave movie. But wait a minute, this is supposed to be a horror movie! And while yes, we have spent plenty of screen time on arguably horrible content, the body count hasn't even come close to starting. However, our racist stereotype of racist rednecks run into an issue as one of their balls just won't come back up. So he leans in for a closer look. A bad idea on its own, but in this movie... Stabs the motherfucker in the eye! The body count has started! The blood is flowing! It is officially horror! Like, intentionally! With that, he is whisked away by his friend, and the killer doll in the alley is completely forgotten about. We never see it again, no one ever brings it up again, and nobody even cares the guy just got stabbed and had to have his bloody ass carried out of there. And more important things to deal with, like Felicity, played by Amy Perfrath, showing up out of nowhere, and Rabbit doing a shit job of covering for Larnell.
If you don't tell me where he is, I am going to cut your head off and roll a stripe with it.
He's right over there.
And just mayor to the sound quality, just take one hell of a hit. That can wait though, as shit is finally happening in this movie. Evie and the Gingerdead Man make it to the back room, but the Baked Bad asks to be left alone with a lady back there who has her top on, despite all logic.
I always wondered if it's true. If I pork a real woman, I'll turn into a real man again. I intend to find out.
What? How in the fuck would that ever work in any logical means? I mean, I understand I'm arguing plot points with sentient, murderous carbs, but still. Thus begins our Gingerdead Man sex scene. I wish I was joking. So, moving on, Felicity comes face to face with Sarah. Predictably, this isn't the calmest situation, Larnell being such a prize and all, but no worry, Rabbit is here.
This is a job for the weed blower.
However, shouldn't they keep trying to claw each other's eyes out for like 5 minutes until the shit kicks in? While the crisis has been averted temporarily, there is the fact that once they sober up, it's back to trying to kill each other for stupid reasons. Thus, Rabbit has a solution.
Bowling for love. 10 pins, 10 lanes, winner takes Larnell.
Wait, that's your solution?
Well, when your only tool is a hammer, every problem starts to look like a nail. Likewise, when your only tool is weed, you're just too fucked up to solve anything. Likewise, you might be too high to figure out this isn't a good idea and just go along with Rabbit's plan. Fortunately, like we said 5 minutes ago, the Evil Bong is already here and she's pissed!
You stole my magic weed, motherfucker. Lots of chumps walking around here playing with their balls, thank you very much. They'll do nicely in my Bong World.
So now instead of having to smoke weed from Evie for her to trap your soul in the Bong World, now you just have to smoke any weed that Evie grows in order for her to get access to your soul and be able to take it to Bong World. Kinda makes her being a Bong kinda superfluous, doesn't it? May as well just call the movie Evil Weed. Harsh hash. Reefer madness! However, because of his time in Bong World, Rabbit knows Evie's one weakness. A plastic bag! That doesn't stop the Gingerdead Man from walking in, though. Obviously failing at that whole turn into a human thing, despite all the awkward sex he had. More important than any of that, though, the filler side characters keep fighting.
Happy, happy! Everybody happy! Be happy! Come on, get happy! Make your butthole whistle with happiness!
But Rabbit saves the day with the power of weed. Unless any of them had any job interviews coming up, I guess. Now that everything has calmed down, the girls can get back to their game of bowling. But this time, invite the Gingerdead Man to join in. Maybe he's got the idea that he can become a real man by boning a real man, I don't know. However, we find out that in a massive shocker, a plastic bag was in fact not enough to contain Evie.
You stupid ass crackers, you've been smoking Rabbit's weed. That's my magic weed. I own your asses now.
Okay, so the gutter ball was sold with bags of Evie's weed, and they've been smoking Evie's weed, so their souls belong to Evie because of the gutter ball. But Rabbit also made the weed blower, which was packed with Evie's weed, and he's been blowing that in people's faces, making them smoke Evie's weed, so their soul now belongs to Evie. You know, movie, you only needed one method for them to smoke Evie's weed. You know that, right? Fucking why stop there? The snacks have EB's weed in it. The water has EB's weed in it. The air has EB's weed in it. Well, I guess that last part's true. But for now, they have all smoked it, their souls are hers, and she transports every last one of them back to the Bong World to drain their energy.
Weed is life.
The end? Fucking great. Well, that was Evil Bong 420. And it took almost an hour to establish what most movies do in their first 10 minutes. You know, the beginning of a story. Oh boy, this was a bad trip. The big problem is there really wasn't anywhere for the movie to go. It's all set up in filler with no payoff. I can't imagine this would be particularly entertaining, even when high, but let's try to itemize my gripes so the review can at least be a decent length. Number one, there's just one location in this movie, a bowling alley. It has just about nothing to do with any of the previous movies, and it comes off like the movie was written around the set rather than a set being found to fit with a well-written script. Or a script that had been written prior to the set being scouted, anyway. Number two, Bong World is just about as boring. It's always different in every movie, and it's entirely CGI here, but that's hardly the biggest problem. It actually does look somewhat interesting, but it's never explored. The entirety of Bong World scenes take place on the same patch of grass overlooking the Bong Mountains. When your set's a green screen, the only limitations to your locations are your special effects budget, which was presumably a plate of pizza rolls. Number three, the characters... yeah, after crossing the Evil Bong and Gingerdead Man universes, there's a lot there, and it makes sense that not all come back, but dear God, those that do come back are done in a way that comes off like a clip show without the clips. And then there's just the joke side characters who honestly seem to be the main attraction this time around. They're the ones who do the most, even if just about all of it is pointless and idiotic. And the plot. Oh, the plot. What fucking plot? Rabbit escaped Bong World, got a bowling alley, smoked a lot of weed, and then everyone got put back in Bong World. Honestly, I'm surprised I managed to stretch this review out this long. At the end of the day, Evil Bong 420 is the worst of the Evil Bong movies I've seen so far. Possibly the worst of all the movies, because I'm having a hard time figuring out how they could get lower than this. I'm honestly a little scared to check, but either way, this turkey comes in at 1 eyeball gouged out of 5. Does that even count as a body count? 1? I mean, did he even die? He bled a little. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado. And remember, try to avoid the shit that's packed with nothing but filler.
At some point, a girl like me is gonna get tired and sick of a guy like you.
So you're saying I still have some time?